has won 64 of 115, so a bit better than 50-50.
That was poor.
1-0, Raonic.
You want to bring a big man in when you're fully under control. You're in control of it, and but that was bringing Milos in and then allowing him to hold the core position. That should have been driven deep. Again, spreading the big man physically. It's just having a bit of clarity around what your game plan looks like. We saw last night Rafa against the younger American Francis Tiafoe, and wow, was he on fire, Rafa. Would have paid double to see his tennis last night.
2-1, Pouille.
Milos knows the frustration that's going on. He's shaking his, he's muttering to himself. He knows that his form right now, his touch and class, is not at the level that it was in his previous 4 matches. And when he's like that, Pete, he generally thinks fast. Everything's fast in his head, and he actually plays fast. Normally plays big off the serve and then tries to rush the net and finish a point a little too quick. Let's look out for this point here. Went with the serve volley treatment.
You'd think his winners to unforced errors ratio is actually pretty acceptable, 20-12, but that ratio was so much higher earlier in the set. A lot of unforced errors creeping in towards the end of the set. That might be the moment. It might only take 1 point.
3-2, Pouille.
Well, unless he comes in on his own terms, Milos, these situations don't put him in a positive position because he's so big. It takes him the time to unwind, and if you've got a full swing on the ball, you've really got to penetrate that hit, and if you do that, big advantage to you. That's just not desperate enough. It's just, that's the bottom line right there. That is not desperate enough to keep that ball alive. I know you might think that's critical, but at this level in the quarterfinals, that ball, he had a full play on that ball, and he just, it wasn't a tough shot to just keep it alive.
He's got some heat on his speed as well. That was 202. His fastest one has been 204. We discussed Raonic's winners to unforced errors ratio as being acceptable. Well, how about the one for Lucas? 15 winners, 5 unforced errors. And most of those unforced errors were in the first 3 games.
Mr. Raonic is challenging the call on the left far sideline. Ball was called fault.
We're in the tie break. He's probably thinking, well, I may as well use these up. And that one was out. And so was that.
5-3. Pouille. Mr. Raonic has 2 challenges remaining. Another one, please. Let's first serve. Five, 4. Pouille.
Let's hope that shot doesn't cost Pouille his set, because 163 on his racket, 5-3 up, needed to hit that ball over the net. Middle of the court, didn't matter, it had to go over.
Now the set's on his racket, though. He's got the opportunity of serving twice. And he's going to find himself with a couple of set points.
6-4. Pouille.
That's good control, gave himself a lot more margin with the rally balls. Played with some good safety, good precision.
From the Frenchman. He wins 7 of the last 10 games. There's a challenge here, but this ball is good, and Pouille will have the first set. We'll wait for official confirmation. Up it goes now. The ball is good, and so is Lucas Pouille as he takes a step towards his first ever Grand Slam semi-final.
Well, it was an interesting set of tennis, but it definitely wasn't the Frenchman when he walked out on the court. I think he was a little bit gun shy. Nerves were there, didn't settle himself down. Look at the percentages here. Milos was really down, got to 57%. Not good enough for him at his height, his ability. That's his main weapon. That's the one that buys him houses or allows him to buy houses around the world. 10 aces, 3 double faults. The scorecard looks really positive when you look at the pluses and minuses and the winners and unforced error column, but that's always going to be the case a lot of times with Milos's matches, because there's not a lot of extended rallies. So the shots are short, the points are short, they're generally controlled on your serve, so you do get a higher ratio of winners to unforced errors. And once Pouille got into stride, we saw some pretty good tennis from him. There's no doubt about that. He swung a lot freer, had a lot more precision with his hitting, got more balls back in play, and there was some calmness there. On the other end of the court, for the Canadian, mishits, shot selection. His tennis IQ wasn't like it's been over the previous 4 matches. A lot of things we haven't seen. throughout the course of the Australian Open, and this man capitalised.